So I did a video like this. I did a video like this like a while back with Jeremy Sohan, where we went through his plays and scouted together. And I think that's just like a really cool way to gauge like impact, especially like defensive impact. Whereas Jonathan Isaac is one of the best defensive prospects I've seen in a long time, and I think one of the best ways to really exemplify the magnitude of his impact is to watch full games and to see all of the plays where he was making an impact. So we've got basically all of the relevant plays from 2 games. There are probably some that you might think are relevant that I didn't include because I don't want to make an hour-long video. But basically all of Isaac's positive or negative defensive possessions that we can glean something. So we're gonna go through all those, like the Sohan video, and go through my scouting process out loud, and just also break down what made Isaac such a sick prospect. And part of it was just his overall awareness and activity and tools combining to make a monster off the ball. We're going to see Isaac stunt at the nail and around drives this whole video. He was so active doing that. And watch him immediately go from stunting to reading this flare action. Isaac is aware of this happening, acts the instant this man moves. And look at the length here. He gets his hand on that pass somehow. There's so much to process here, and Isaac is able to use his tools in a functional way to process it all and make a play. We're going to see that constantly. He is a special off-ball playmaker, as well as someone who moved really well on the ball. There were some real flashes of him being able to get around screens, which is really impressive for someone this tall, because that's usually an Achilles heel defensively for tall, skinny dudes. And Isaac's able to chase around with the top step and use his arm to stay attached. And with his just recovery speed and tools in general and his lateral mobility, look how low he gets. He's a crazy mover. He was able to do some really impressive on-ball D things against NBA players and Bruce Brown. Then a great contest. Not the most vertically explosive guy, but just so long and smart with his timing. Yeah, this Miami team was cool with Bruce Brown and Davon Reed. But Isaac was guarding these guys all game and having success. Here's a play where the screen nav isn't as good. It's just really hard to stay tight at that size when you just have so much turn radius, like a freaking semi-truck, where it can be really hard to get that high foot over to stay attached. But that's just kind of a flaw that almost all of these guys have. Definitely something that Isaac was showing flashes at this point. And then just the playmaking was so wild. So, I'm thinking at this point, the off-ball impact seems so crazy. The playmaking seems so crazy. You just see him close this space instantly. Davon Reed is a couple feet away from Isaac at the point of him shooting this ball, and Isaac's still able to get a hand and block that shot just because of how crazy he was covering ground with his length and covering airspace with his length. It was so impressive. Now we have Isaac playing zone, and he was just so disruptive and active, hunting steals and deflections on these drives and kind of being swarming and help. A lot of this is probably the Leonard Hamilton system, which can be tough to evaluate defenders in. But guys like Isaac were always looking to be a pest and to get his arm in there. And because Isaac was so long and so fast and so quick, he could take these risks without that much fear of not being able to get to a closeout here. And obviously he's able to cause a deflection because of that really crazy length as well. That is such a crucial thing in combination with his general awareness stuff and other stuff. He switched a lot, and part of it was his quick hands too, being able to cookies this guard here, really just absolutely pantsed him there, unbelievable. He was so you don't see quick hands like this from 6'10" guys. You just don't. It is rare, especially sitting low on the perimeter. So at this point, this point in the game, you're already kind of probably seeing the impact that Isaac is displayed. He hasn't really had it. He has had one real negative play the whole first half, which wasn't even that terrible. I like this play. Isaac is always so mobile off the ball. You'll see a lot of defenders, even good ones, just kind of stand still off the ball and scan even, or But Isaac's always stunting, always moving, and this defender still ends up hitting a tough shot. Isaac's just cutting down his options. Like he's making this pass not an option. He's making him think by stunting and providing the sense of a threat. And he's just lowering options, which is really what a great off-ball defender does, is takes away options, minimizes what offenses can do. If the defense, they say take what the defense is giving you. If the defense ain't giving you shit, then that's, not going to be good. And that's what Isaac was so great at. And you see him, even when he's a little more over-aggressive, he could often just overcorrect because of his recovery tools. I love the aggressive stunt here. Obviously he totally whiffs, but he's lucky he has a good wingman here in Terrence Mann, who's so well positioned, and Isaac just pokes that from behind because the length and the hand speed are just crazy. He was a menacing defender, really. You see him kind of guarding 2v1 in this spot in transition, where there's some help, but he's really trying to stop Bruce Brown here, but cover that pass, and he uses his length to kind of get over there. He guards Brown, but is immediately able to sprint over to cut this drive off and ended up, forcing a much tougher shot. It is really remarkable, how smart and how good of a mover and how toolsy he was, and how great his awareness was. He made simple actions really hard. As we see, this is a simple dribble handoff that, because Isaac is relentless, not only denying, you'll see a lot of defenders deny really hard over to just kind of make it so this guy can't pass, but Isaac is going for the ball. Isaac, instead of denying, he is denying this guy a chance to even move the ball without throwing it away. The just constant disruption, such a huge thing to monitor. And again, is able to fight his way over a screen there, which he does show flashes of being able to do. Obviously, a little stuck on this off-ball screen. This probably could have been a shot, but maybe not, because we saw Jonathan Isaac block a jumper from a similar range earlier in this game. Just so able. The perimeter stuff is interesting because, again, if the screen is good, he can have a hard time staying all the way attached. But the recovery speed, the challenge as well from behind, that I'm sure made some sort of impact on that play. He was a much better on-ball defender than I kind of expected as well. He can be a little stunt happy, which is fine, I think, overall. I wouldn't have had that as a big concern, but there are moments here where he should just kind of slide over and just wall off here and give his help D a chance. Instead he just misses the ball and gives up a layup, where those kind of things happened. But again, minor mistakes, and he was a freshman playing this kind of defense as well, so those mistakes are meant to happen. This way interesting because I feel it's hard to know how much, because I've seen a lot of guys Pat Williams, Scotty Barnes make these same mistakes where they're kind of just really opening their hips early to kind of force these drivers into their middle help. So I don't know how much of that is Isaac, because we've seen him slide and move his feet, and we're going to see it even more in the next game. But the hips are kind of high and take some time to get around. But I don't really know. Florida State defense is always weird to evaluate guys in, just because of how Leonard Hamilton runs his stuff in such a unique way. Because you can see he's capable of sticking with these guys. He has the speed and the general mobility and coordination. When even this is too far behind for a lot of players, but Isaac can use his length and use his speed to keep up. So we're just seeing so much impressive stuff in terms of perimeter defense from a guy who's 6'9", especially when he's able to slide into it, slide in a straight line. He's totally fine and is able to. I don't think he gets the block there, but we're seeing I honestly didn't expect Isaac to be this incredible on the perimeter. I expected him in college to look like a more interior help strict defender, but he was such a good perimeter D prospect at this size. This gets called a foul, but I love how he's aggressive, mirroring and cutting off Bruce Brown, not letting him get to his spot, dictating where the ball handler can go. I love that. I love that aggressive trait. So that was the first game. We saw a lot of really impressive perimeter D stuff. some like off ball screen movement. I think this game is going to be another good mix of on and off ball, where we start again with just the really ridiculous awareness and recognition loading up for that block as well, where Pitt is like running their guy to the corner to try to occupy the help, but Isaac immediately recognizes when there's a threat of a drive, and he slides over, loads up, and blocks that with his length. Again, he wasn't the most explosive guy in the world, but like the length and timing were pretty impressive for a guy his size, even if like the explosion did kind of show up some points. But it wasn't like a huge concern. Again, like he wasn't perfect as a rim protector. That was probably his like biggest macro weakness as a defender, that he just like wasn't the craziest rim protector. He was really, really good. Don't get me wrong. Like I feel like calling this a weakness is kind of disingenuous, because it really wasn't. Like compared to the rest of his defensive kit, there were some like leaping projection stuff and a little bit of like awareness, but he still had like 7 block games. So I'm kind of talking out my ass right now. Like there was just some weird awareness stuff and where he would get like lost, but that's also normal for freshmen, where the rest of Isaac's defensive kit is not at all normal for freshmen. Like he more like normal freshman stuff, just like over helping a little bit here, where this is Terrence Mann's job 2 passes away. And obviously Isaac can like kind of get away with this kind of stuff more than other people, because like you've already seen him block a 3, and this is still a pretty solid contest, but like he definitely didn't need to help that aggressively, or he could have left a little bit earlier as well. But again, when we have him making plays like this, where he's like showcasing the crazy speed and effort, and again like the vert hurts him a little bit here, but that's just great freaking finish too. But we can see like the tools rear their head again as well. We did see Isaac guards like some like difficult actions well, though it wasn't all bad for sure. Like there was a lot of good stuff where he like recognized this like Spain back screen really fast, and gets back to his man, and then is really physical, denying him post presence. Like this man wanted to catch the ball right here and turn, but Isaac made him catch the ball all the way by the 3-point line, which is really, really cool and impressive. And I just love to see that level of physicality and the foot speed to mirror and force a stop. Like all of the physical tools, being able to guard bigs, guard wings, guard guards. Like I definitely don't think Isaac was like a 1 through 5 switch guy, because those don't really exist, but he was like, the versatility was exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. We see another stunt. This one I really like. I think is a good exhibition of, as I kind of mentioned before, taking away options, making the defense hesitate, giving his teammates. Like Isaac was such a luxury, must have been such a luxury to play with, because like he just offered his other defensive teammates so much leeway. Like Terrence Mann has time to get back into position, and this defender has time to step up and cut, just because Isaac is making the offensive players think, which is such a crucial thing to do. And this guy hesitates and ends up, rimming out on like a decent shot. This play is just like, I think, the best one play example of Isaac's movement that we're just seeing over and over, how good this guy moves. And I'm hammering the table on movement skills. Were totally normal for your 6'9", 6'10" wing forward defender to be picking up full court, sliding his feet. Look at that technique, getting low, active arms. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And forcing a 1v1 stop at the rim, guarding 94 feet. Like, come on. It's ridiculous. Come on now. It is something. Jonathan Isaac was something else. We see the slow-ish hips here, where like he's just not that great, like opening up and changing directions in like a sharp way. But the recovery tools, the length, the speed, it didn't really matter there as well. And oftentimes, even in the NBA, when he was healthy, it didn't really matter either. Love vintage classic Jonathan Isaac stunt, as we've been seeing throughout these 2 games. This one more directly causes a really positive result, as Isaac legit gets in this guy's way, but is really good about going back to his man, forces the pickup. Really great stuff from Isaac. This is just some more like impressive on ball foot speed. The footwork is so good. He was so able to like stop and start and quick movements and quick segments against these like much smaller players, and then his length, always denying passes and getting in airspace. Like a lot of defenders will just like kind of like sit back in these situations and just like kind of play whatever. Like don't let them get anything easy. But Isaac is making this guy's life hell when he picks up the ball. Such a valuable tool. And then like the disruption, he is like maybe the most disruptive defender I've ever watched. Like I don't know if there's a more like disruptive defender, especially at least in his position that I've seen. And like unreal instincts, unreal. Like this defender thinks he has a wide open layup, but Isaac like turns and flips. Like look when Isaac turns to start his help. Isaac notices that this is going to be a shot at the rim when this guy's at the logo. That's unbelievable. And he's there so early and is able to smack that ball away. Like crazy instincts for a guy that young. It is unbelievable. I really love that play. Again, we see an old issue rear its head again, like the slowish, high-ish hips in these like tight 1v1s, because like when Isaac was being aggressive and didn't work out, he could kind of get burned like that. But it was, that's kind of a trade-off with how great his movement and his playmaking was, aside from those plays. So almost at the end, I could have included like 10 more plays that were like either very, very similar to what we've seen or like not that important. And this video would have been a lot longer, but I think you get the point about Isaac's defensive impact throughout these games. It was immense. You cannot throw the ball anywhere near him. He is the best free safety ever. Like if you throw the ball anywhere in his vicinity, you're getting picked. Like just don't do it. Don't do it. You can't do it. And then I believe just to end off with this play, we're gonna have Isaac playing drop and blocking another jumper. That is what we do out here. You just can't shoot with him anywhere in the vicinity. And I think this would have given him some versatility, or did give him some versatility in pick and roll coverages, as it's been a while since Isaac has played, and he's made some questionable life choices. But no doubt he was on track to be a surefire defensive player of the year before he got hurt. Like a guy who would win multiple awards because of these tools, because of this mobility and size and versatility and length and instincts and general feel and awareness, all of that. And he was just he was one of the best defensive prospects I've ever seen, probably. And that 2017 draft was really awesome. And there is definitely some of me that hopes Jonathan Isaac gets to show out at this point again, because he is very cool to watch. But you know.